Good morning, people. I got me a reliable, chunky old dog over here. She's always liking to sit behind me. Yeah, I'll pet your face too. Okay, I patted your butt. I know. So, it has been a couple weeks since I watched the Spider-Man movie. Life is just a busy thing. I had my vacation week, and obviously don't really got time to be filming a video. I had concert weekend this last weekend. First week back to work, of course, is inundated with everything that you didn't get done when you weren't there for a week. So, it was just busy, been busy time. But, Spider Man, brand new day. That's what we're here to talk about right now. As a full disclosure, first off, Spider Man, not my favorite superhero. I did enjoy the Spider Man comics as a kid, but only certain stories. I remember sometime in my teenage years when they went way off the rails. And then they had, I don't know, 600 iterations of Spider Man. If anyone thinks that that is unreasonable to say, I think it probably was that many. If you watched any of those Spider-Verse movies, you'd realize that there's a lot of them. They ain't messing around, and they let anyone who had any idea for any kind of Spider-Man write that character and make a book about it. And so I was, I don't want to say overwhelmed because that's not an accurate word, but you were just, there's so much thrown at you for it that it got old to me. So it wasn't that I avoided Spider-Man or anything like that. Like, I watched the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. I thought they were okay. I didn't watch the Andrew Garfield movies. I never watched any of them. Um, and I did end up watching these newer ones because they tied in. Now, Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I think he's good. I don't think he's probably as good as Tobey Maguire, but I don't know if that is the movies themselves or the acting. I can't really tell, honestly, because I think they're both very passable as the character. And maybe the Tobey Maguire movies, I don't know, I saw them when I was younger, or just whatever the case may be. They have more of a feel for me of, a movie that was my style until this one. I gotta say, this is what I would consider the best Spider-Man movie that we've gotten from anyone. Uh, Anyone at all. I thought that as far as a comic book movie that is true to the feel of comic book action and pacing, this is the best that we've gotten. It's not my favorite comic book movie that I've seen. Afton really does want to watch all those, so we're going to end up going through them a lot. But if uh, if they had filmed more movies with the sense of timing in the action that they did with this, I think it would have enhanced a lot of the other films. Not to say that there weren't some good battles in those and whatnot, but this movie, the way they did the action and the quips in between and the whole feel of the way the story was actually written, it just had the feel of a comic book. And if you weren't a comic book reader, then you maybe don't understand what I'm talking about. But especially for Spider Man, the slight comedy and sassiness and smart alecky things that he was saying all the time were interspersed with the frenetic action, but the frenetic action was only frenetic for everybody else. And for Spider Man, it seemed like he wasn't necessarily like frozen in time because of the way that his senses work. But when your senses are working on a thousandfold of what anyone else's could be, you know, you can hear someone's intention in their breath before they start moving their arm, then you've already reacted physically before they begin to move. And so, not necessarily like frozen in time, but your pacing is so much slower than everyone else's pacing that you're able to divulge the information to your nervous system and it reacts before anyone else even has a chance to react. And that's how comic books action works, especially in a Spider-Man movie. And that's how this movie felt to me. Like his advantage senses wise was on display in a way that I've never seen in any of these movies before. And I was very impressed with it. Um as far as like the side cast of characters, because they really, as many characters as there were in this, and there were a lot, they're linking it all and they're throwing it all into a pot. um it was a Spider-Man movie. It was not overtaken by anybody else. There wasn't any moments where I felt like the focus went off of him so much that you were like, it almost got irritable in a way, because they could have, like, the Punisher was in it quite a bit. John Bernthal was in it quite a bit, and he's not my favorite Punisher. I haven't seen him in anything until this one. Actually, I didn't watch any of those shows. I'm not like a TV guy, so it's hard for me to watch a series. But I haven't actually seen him that I can recall in any of these other movies, maybe for a second here or there. But as much as he isn't my favorite Punisher, he's very serviceable as the character. I just think that they made him like, Frank Castle is dark. So the like wry comments and just like the way he joked about, really killing people. And the Punisher doesn't really joke about that stuff. He does it. And it's not a joke. It's serious. He kills people for real. And he's not like jokey about it. He's just a savage. So I don't feel like Bernthal plays that. But I do like the way the character was. And I do think that he is cartoonish in a fun way. And I don't really care about the Punisher as a character anyway, so I'm able to look past what I don't like about it. Now, everyone knows John Bernthal was the Punisher. In the sake of not spoiler alerting anything, I'm not going to say who Sadie Sink is. I think that most people probably guessed it just based on how she looks, essentially. She's a little young in my estimation for that role, but I don't care because I thought she did a good job. And hopefully the way they work everything out. I don't know exactly what their plan is here, X-Men wise, but I guess I just sunk that in there. I don't know what their plan is X-Men wise, but either way, I guess I'll spoiler alert it. She's an X-Man. So that's as far as you're getting. Obviously you probably know who she is. I think was like, when I first saw her in the movie, I was like, yeah, that's gotta be who she's playing, and I was right. But I was like, yeah, she seems a little young for that role, and I felt that through the whole movie. But they're just bringing her in a younger way. I don't know. They're trying to build that team to be younger. I'm not sure exactly what their plan is. Hopefully, they do them well because, I mean, who doesn't love the X Men? Now, this is definitely the best of the comic book movies that I've covered so far. I would say easily, in my estimation, mostly because we actually saw a version of an MCU Hulk that I like. The Hulk is by far my favorite comic book character. I'm a little man brimming with big rage, so I understand that character quite well. Um, I have been waiting to see a version of the Hulk that I liked and enjoyed in the MCU since it started, because with the exception of that one Thor movie where he was pretty good, you just don't get the Hulk I wanted to see. And this one is the Hulk I wanted to see. Just not for that long, but you get him in there. And I really liked it. I really liked it. I hope he comes back. I hope they make a World War Hulk movie. That's really like, that's my main hope on all these. Make me a World War Hulk movie. Ah. Everybody did their part well in this movie. I thought it was rather enjoyable. It had touching moments. It had Spider-Man actually starting to grow up a little bit, and it's noticeable. So I'm gonna give this movie a 9.5. I thought that it was really well done. Spider-Man not being my favorite character made me not that. I wasn't super hype on the movie, but I wanted to check it out because the look of the Odyssey disappointed me, so I'm not gonna watch that in theaters. I'm gonna wait. And a solid 9.5 out of a Spider-Man movie ain't bad for me because I don't think I've given any of them other than anything I would call an 8 ever. And I haven't even seen them all, but, 9.5. Spider-Man, brand new day. I hope that you guys go see it in the movie theater. Give these people some money when they do something decent. Have a good day.